Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and the Immortal Thor, issue number 25. We're about to get a title change after this, and it actually looks really interesting. So I've fallen off of this book. I tried in the beginning, and it was just too much crazy stuff. It looks like the crazy stuff really hasn't stopped, and it's only gotten crazier. It's all over the place. But this is a really good issue, this quarter centennial, right? Really good issue because it lets me know what's. I don't know how Thor died in this, but yeah, he died, and then he almost went to a worse death, and then something else happened. Let's get talking about all that stuff first. Credit where credit's due. So this is called the Twilight Kingdom. Al Ewing is the writer. Jen, I can't seem to read this very well. The way that it's just my eyes, man. Doesn't like these things. Oh, maybe it's just my glasses. Jen Basaldoa. Oh, I know Jen Basaldoa. And then that's on art. Also on art is Justin Gallant Greenwood and Pascal Ferry. I know Pascal Ferry also. Anyway, color arts. Matt Hollingway and Romulo Fierro Jr. I actually miss Romulo, and Matt is always around because he's awesome. VC's Joe Sabino on letters, and Alex freaking Ross still doing these covers. That's awesome. A couple of variant covers out there. Enjoy. I mean, it is an issue number 25 after all, and Thor is created by Stan Lee, his brother Larry Lieber, and Jack Kirby. You know, Larry Lieber is actually still alive. He just put out a book not too long ago, and he's a freaking awesome, amazing human being. And I'm not joking; he really is the brother of Stan Lee. I think he's actually the older brother, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, yeah, creator, co-creator of Thor, co-creator of Ant Man. A lot of good stuff there, and he's just so quiet. Ah, man, it's wild. Anyway, so again, this is called the Twilight Kingdom, and Thor died somehow. I don't know how. Some actually, I would really appreciate if somebody let me know in the comments below because I don't want to look it up. But you guys let me know. That's awesome. In fact, you can even do a game, wrong answers only. That would be fun. So, he's dead, and while he's down here, he winds up meeting um, Blake, Donald Blake. You remember him? The old him? This is interesting. He actually has a soul. So there's been a lot going on. I actually stopped reading this comic book around that time that Donald Blake came back and then he had captured or become or whatever the Midgard serpent. And I'm like, this is getting a little bit too crazy for me at this point. It clearly hasn't stopped. At one point, it looks like he's going to turn into the Midgard serpent in this. Something's happening, but Thor is able to handle some business. He's standing on business, right? It's actually a pretty fun, cool thing. Anyway, um, what happens? He wipes the floor with anything that's coming in his way, right? He's threatening everybody. Meanwhile, he is no longer immortal. Meanwhile, he no longer has Mjolnir. Meanwhile, he no longer has control of the storm, right? All these things he just doesn't have anymore. There's not enough rain down here. It's a very light rain, not enough to actually summon a storm from. So there's no storm down here. Obviously, the hammer isn't here, so there's that. And his immortality, well, he died. So, you know, this was a very interesting comic book and very sobering too for somebody like Thor. Let's just be honest for a hot minute. But he handles his business. At one point, he. I don't want to get too far into this. Yeah, I really don't want to start spoiling some stuff, right? So let's see. Basically, he wraps everything up and he winds up being. I'm going to spoil the end. All right. And if you guys don't want to be here for it, look, hand is up and hand is not going to go back down for the most part. Um, so here it comes. Thor winds up not necessarily, I don't know if he kills what's his face, Donald Blake or not, but he says something about him having a soul. He loses eyes. He takes, this guy's eyes, like there's no eyes, but he comes back with eyes, just black and blue on his eyes. And he comes back to Earth. There's some redheaded version of Loki. Oh yeah, that's going to go over great with the ginger community. Anyway, um, And this kid is just like, "Hey, how you doing?" And Thor's looking up at him, and he's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Well, it looks like you got busted up," but he's got his eyes back. Just again busted up pretty bad. And this kid, a form of Loki. His name is actually Luki, so he's gonna call him Lucky. That's wonderful. And he's like, "Yeah, there's this apartment key here, and there was something else also. I forget what it was. There was no ID, so he had to come up with his own name. But a wallet with a few dollars and an apartment key. You must have dropped them. No ID though. You'll have to remember your own name. So what's your name?" And he goes and he says, "Oh, my name. My name is Sigurd. Sigurd Jarlson." That is awesome. Do you remember when when Thor was Sigurd Jarlson? It was actually a really cool moment. Thor was pretending to be a regular old mortal. He actually bumped into Superman. I would not be upset if he bumped into Superman again, especially with the DC Marvel crossover coming up soon. That would be really cool. Al Ewing, I know you can do it, bud. I know you can. He bumped into Superman, right? Clark Kent specifically, but come on. Anyway, and then we wound up getting the not Thor Odinson. What was his name? Basically Thunderstrike, right? We wound up getting Eric Masterson out of that. Guys, there's so much history here that Al Ewing is drawing from. I'm glad he got all this other stuff out. There's some things in here that were kind of weird for me, and I never really dug it, like the whole memory loss thing, the TV thing, right? We're doing a little bit of Zandu. We're doing a little bit of, the execution also. Oh, the executioner winds up dying in this again. And because he smashes the Black Bridge and he just kind of disappears. And okay, yeah, wow, remnants of when Executioner originally died. So can Executioner be dead again and actually stay dead this time? I guess it depends on Marvel editorial. That's a character who never should have been brought back. You want to bring back a ghost of him, sure, as long as it's not actually him. That was just dirty. They brought him back. Al puts him back where he belongs, 6 feet under or further. Lost to the void, darn it. So we don't know what happens. But yeah, seeing him fade away like that, it was somewhat reminiscent of him fading away in Galderbrew, I believe it was called. Um, God, I'm getting choked up just thinking about that actual Walter Simonson death of the executioner. What an absolutely amazing. He's still alive too, by the way, and his wife Wheezy, um, Louise Simonson, who killed Superman. I'm just saying, look, the Thor team's all here, right? The Sigurd Jarlson team is all here. There's a lot that can happen here, and I really hope that a lot of this does wind up panning out. But the next issue is going to be called, in the book now, is going to be called Immortal Thor. I'm jumping on this. I'm jumping on this next issue, and I'm probably going to be full time on this book here on in. If we're really going to do something like that, I love the idea of this. Guys, grab this book. If you've already been reading this book, you're going to be grabbing this book anyway. But as a centennial book, it seems like one of those special kind of things. Grab the book just because it's fun. It's a fun read, and it's going to lead you into the next book. But even if you don't get this one, grab the next one with me. Let's see what it's all about. I'll talk to you guys later. Like the video, watch an ad. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.